Yeah.
Thanks, Jake. I appreciate you doing this. So you've laid out how the president is standing up to Russia through action, but largely giving China and India a pass on their aggressions as well as economic support for Russia. Why is that?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. You've laid out how the president's been standing up to Russia through action, but when it comes to India and China, the president's largely given them a pass for their aggressions as well as the economic support they're giving to Russia. Why is that?
What do you mean by aggression?
Well, so for instance, India, they've made a deal with, economic aggression, I guess. They made a deal with 18 countries to not use dollars to trade in. India is on a U.S. watch list for intellectual property theft of U.S. companies. India is part of BRICS, and so that's what I'm talking about with India. With China, the aggressions, the hacking that they've done, the spy balloons, as well as their intellectual property issues.
I mean, first of all, we've stood up over, I'm not sure if your question is about Ukraine or just about other things generically and so forth.
Why are we seeing the same kind of actions standing up against China and India?
I mean, we've taken a variety of actions to protect America's national security vis-a-vis threats from the PRC. We have an entire strategy with respect to our technology export controls to make sure that American technology cannot be used against us. President Biden, in fact, is the first person to take some of those steps. No previous administration has done so. And where we have concerns with India, whether it comes to issues related to the very watch list that you're describing or otherwise, we make those concerns clear and we defend U.S. interests, as we do with every country in the world. Now, India is not Russia, and China has its own set of challenges that we deal with in its own context. So, of course, there's going to be differences in how we deal with countries one by one. But the idea, the North Star of this administration is, if you represent a threat to the American people's security, prosperity, or basic sense of fairness, we will take action to defend that. I think our record on that across multiple countries, including the ones you've mentioned, is quite clear over the last 2.5 years. Yeah.
Thank you. You're talking about the $24 billion being through the end of this calendar year. You mentioned that you are looking ahead to what comes next. Do you have any projections for how much more will be needed? And is there, do you have projections and can you share them?
I will tell you, standing here right now, I let the OMB director lay out our budget requests to the Congress, our supplemental requests to the Congress. I do not do that. We are working through that and, in fact, trying to have an open and transparent conversation with the Congress on it as well. But I'm going to leave it to the people whose remit it is to lay out our resource requests to the Congress to do that. I won't do that for them.